please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
You're with us here on a fresh new edition of Midcap Radar. The market's not doing very much. It's been actually absolutely quiet now for the last, so many hours. And it's, pretty representative of what's been happening in global markets as well, both overnight, US markets, and then what's happening in Asia. IT and metals, of course, pain points, but you've got a couple of indices like the pharmaceutical index or the energy complex, which is doing not so bad. But net, there isn't very much to report. Advanced decline, about 935 stocks are higher and about 1,100 actually stocks are lower. So it's pretty evenly balanced even there. The only thing is the mid-cap index seems to be selling off a little bit. We're down about 8 points. The Nifty is still in the green, 15, 16 points, but for what it's worth, it's up. The mid-cap index, not so much. It's actually now in the red. We'll discuss this with Ashwani in just a bit, but here are the top headlines at 1:30. Market has recovered from the lows. The Nifty will touch base with reporters on a few of them a little later on the show. For now, 17 points is what the Nifty's got. Ashwani Gujral is with us on the show. Ashwani, thanks very much. Good to have you as always. Your sense, your reading of the screen?
See, since morning I've been saying that 4 or 5 large stocks are doing very well, so that shows a bit of institutional participation. ICICI Bank, HDFC, Reliance is at the highs of the day. These guys don't move unless the market is planning to do a big move. So we had this intraday dip right now, but again things are picking up. So maybe for the next couple of hours you have to bet on the side of a breakout, and if Reliance is able to gain some more, then maybe even short covering could start here, because now with the large cap participation, it looks a bit more likely. IT anyway is in an uptrend, so if the energy space also participates, then we have more legs on the upside. Having said that, Vedanta is a sell with a stop of 296, target of 282. Balkrishna Industries is a sell with a stop of 1260, target of 1220. And Motherson is a buy with a stop of 350, target of 375.
Okay, 2 sells, 1 buy, and the index, Ashwani, as you said, looks poised for essentially a breakout, right? Yeah. Okay, Ashwani, thanks very much. We speak again in a bit from now. That's on the top of 2:30 in an hour from now as we begin the last hour of trade. 20 points now. So 10,605 is what we have at this point. My colleague Sumera is joining in as well. Good afternoon.
Hi, Prashant. Good afternoon to you as well. Well, let's talk about some of the stocks which are in focus today, and a big mover today has been Gati. So let's pull up the intraday chart. The stock is up about 16% Remember, there's a board meet on the 26th, and the expectation is that they're going to induct a strategic partner, and who that might be. Nimesha joins in with the details. So Nimesh, tell us, what's the buzz? What are you hearing?
Well, so this is all source-based, so we don't have a confirmation from the management, but what I understand is, anyway, there is an official announcement on the exchanges yesterday that the board is going to meet on the April 26th to consider a strategic partner for future growth. Now, if you look at, there is this Japanese company called Kintsu World Express Japan, which is, to my understanding, could be the likely strategic partner in this deal, simply because they already own 4% of Gati, which is a listed entity. And apart from that, the Japanese company also has a JV with the logistics arm of Gati, and over there they have close to 30% stake, and they'd invested close to 280 crores. Now, the significance of this deal is simply because the promoter holding of Gati is less than 25%. So in case this Japanese player buys out the entire promoter holding, they'll have to trigger an open offer as well. So that means, this becomes a MNC logistics company going forward. Maybe that could be a big re-rating for the stock, and maybe that is the reason why the stock is up 16%. Remember, the stock has done nothing in the last 2 years or 3 years, if I remember correctly. I think it had done a peak of 300 rupees, and now it was back to 100 bucks. So clearly, even in terms of operational performances, it's been weak. So I guess today's big move is essentially on the back that the board is going to meet on the 26th to induct a strategic partner. And in case that is a Japanese player who's going to buy out majority from the promoters, then probably you'll see a big re-rating on the stock, and maybe that's the reason why the stock is buzzing today.
Well, as of now, the mid-cap index just a tad bit in the red. But let's get speaking with the management of some companies. One of them is Aarti Drugs. Reports indicate that the US FDA has retained the official action status of one of their units. To discuss more, joining in now, we have Adish Patil, the CFO of the company. Mr. Patil, good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining in. Some of the reports are indicating that this is the Tarapur unit which has this OAI status. Could you confirm that for us, and could you also tell us if there is an import alert on this unit?
Yes, so we had import alert on this unit. This is the E22 unit of Tarapur. So we had inspection in second week of December in 2017. So there were 5 observations, 3 of which were already complied with, and we already gave the response in 1st January. And for 2 of them, we have asked timeline till June end of 2018. So right now, I think it will be a status quo. So unless we submit that final response, there won't be any action from US FDA of lifting import alert.
So you're saying this OAI is only because 2 responses to 2 of those observations is still pending at your end?
So the thing is, we immediately replied to this letter. This was just a 1-page letter. It indicated that based on the inspection which took place in December, your unit as of now stands in OAI status. So we have asked for telephonic meeting with FDA to get a better picture on why they feel it is still in OAI status.
Ashish, for our viewers, what does this mean, official action indicated?
It means that as of now, whatever the status quo was of the facility, it will remain that. So we still cannot ship any goods to US with this status.
Do you have a time? Do you have a deadline by which you got to sort of respond with the other 2?
That is June 18th.
June 18th. And only post that can you, I mean, you'll have to ask them to come and re-inspect. Is that how it works?
Even that we are not sure. So that is a call which FDA will take. But based on our consultants' perception that the inspection was really good, so even we were little taken aback by seeing this OAI status.
Okay. Go ahead.
Right. No. So, I mean, obviously, you have to respond to all the points that the FDA raised, right?
Correct.
You've not responded to 2 points still, and you have time till the 18th of June, as you said, right?
Yeah, end of June 18th.
Yeah, okay. No, I mean, are those complicated issues? Is there any reason why you didn't respond to that
no,
along with the rest?
No, more than complication, it was a time-consuming issue because one of them was review of chromatography data of last 5 years. So that is a data even before the last inspection took place. Last means August 2014. Even before that, since 2012, we have to give the analysis.
So it just takes time to put together.
Exactly.
So this particular unit that we're talking about, the re-inspection can now, I mean, realistically, only be in FY, say the second quarter of FY19?
Yes.
Or could it be before that?
Correct. Okay. So basically, even in December, it was a surprise inspection. We think that it might be after the final response. Most probably it is after the final response.
What percentage of your total revenue is focused on the US, and how much from this plant? I mean, I just want to understand how significant this plant is for your company.
So when the alert came out, that was March 2015. So at that time, the US was around 1% of our total sales. But it had a lot of growth prospects. But then whenever we are giving estimates for coming years, as of now, standing today, we never consider US sales. So only after we clear this status, then we will include those in our estimated earnings.
All right. This is the API plant?
API plant.
API plant. And you're saying US is 1%?
Yeah, it was 1% back.
But there was potential to grow, of course, that was halted because of this.
Correct.
So, I mean, otherwise, how is, so, of course, this will resolve when it does. I mean, it could not, I mean, it's up to the FDA as well. How is business otherwise? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, so for FY 17-18, except for the first quarter, we took hit across all pharma companies due to GST transitioning. The third quarter and fourth quarter were really good, means both posting more than double-digit results.
And this is the quarter for which you will report numbers?
Correct.
The fourth quarter has been very good, you're saying?
Yes, third quarter was good, and even fourth quarter was quite good.
Right. Any indication of how this new year is panning out? I mean, any outlook?
So it looks good. Since December quarter, the prices of raw material, intermediates and basic chemicals have started going up. So it is still inching up slightly. So right now the market is in the transition stage. So even we have to pass on all the increased selling prices to the customers.
Right.
So obviously it's not very stable right now, but the demand is very good.
Okay, just one final word. Apart from this Tarapur unit which we spoke about, are there any other units that have US FDA action pending?
No, this is the only one.
Okay. All right, Mr. Patil, we'll leave it at that for now. Thanks very much and all the very best for FY19. That's the word coming in from Aarti Drug. So Tarapur unit, where by June 2018 is when the company hopes to respond to the final 2 observations given by the US FDA, post which they would invite the US regulator for a re-inspection. Numbers coming through from Coromandel International not looking good, although there's a slight uptick in their top line at about 2,700 odd crores, but I think profits have taken a hit of about 50 odd % now, coming in at 73 crores, in the stock taken a nosedive.
One big pressure point for the market is the metals index, and I mean that's primarily driven down by what's happening to non-ferrous stocks. The Nifty's picked up, by the way. I mean, the intraday, yeah, it has. I mean, 30 points higher. We were absolutely flat when we started at 130. So there is a sharp spike high. I just want to take note of that. Nothing on mid-caps. I mean, mid-caps are still down 5-6 points, but the large cap index is picking up, and the Bank Nifty's picked up as well. The Bank Nifty is up about 0.45%. So we'll track what where this goes. But back to the story on metals. Aluminum prices fell about between 7 and 8%. The US government has given more time, an extension really, to US consumers to comply with the sanctions against Rusal. It's indicated that it would consider lifting the sanctions if the company's controlling shareholders cede control. So that is the news which is coming in. Stocks, I mean, are down. Hindalco, Vedanta, Nalco. I mean, globally, we had, I think, Alcoa yesterday overnight, which was down almost about 14%. We've got somebody to talk about this in a little bit more detail, and more importantly, to tell us where this could head from here. So Amit Dikshit is research analyst with Edelweiss. Amit, thanks very much. Good afternoon. How significant is what we've seen, and to your mind, have we seen the end of this relentless rise in both aluminum, aluminum prices to begin with?
See, for us, well, what we have seen has really been an extraordinary order of events, to be honest. Aluminium prices, until a month back, nobody expected aluminium prices to go above 2,500, leave alone the thought of going to 3,000 odd kind of levels. So this was largely driven by the purported sanctions on Rusal, and therefore US softening its stance, provided there is a change of ownership, has released this particular pressure on the supply chain as such. Now, what I will say that, we have published it in a note as well, that the impact of Rusal was more in complicating the global supply chain. So you had potential force majeure from Glencore, force majeure from Rio Tinto coming in. And that, spread kind of panic, and you saw that cancelled warrants on LME also increased quite a bit. And that was actually responsible for aluminium prices being where they are. And since that particular pressure is off, and therefore we saw that aluminium prices have plunged by 7-8%, and the stocks as well. Now, going ahead, the way I see it is, alumina prices are also quite high. In fact, the average of alumina price as a percentage of aluminium has been 16% over last 10 years. Currently, it is at 25%. So definitely there is a cost push from alumina side. and that cost push is more driven by the production disruption at LU Norte. So if LU Norte gets resolved, which we expect it would, sooner than later, then you will see alumina prices also, kind of coming down. But till then, definitely I would say that aluminium prices would find support from alumina. That is the first point. The second point is on the Chinese exports. While we saw a little bit of an uptick, but I expect Chinese exports to be relatively subdued, particularly because the export parity price that Chinese have, the SHFE price, is still lucrative as compared to LME. So therefore, exports should be subdued, and couple it with the slower than expected smelter restart, the fact that alumina is still not available. I would believe that aluminium prices should settle down sooner than later, and that would, bring some sanity in overall sense.
Okay. Hi Amit, good afternoon. Given this entire global setup, what are the stocks that you're looking at from, say, particularly this aluminum space? And you think they're good for more?
See, the stock that we are, of course, we have a positive stance on both Vedanta and Hindalco. Now, there are two different, impacts of this particular stuff. So, first of all, the integrated players like Hindalco, of course, they are more price dependent because operating leverage angle is not there at the moment. So, they will get impacted in the near term. Vedanta, of course, because of the fact that it doesn't have, that greater captive source of alumina or bauxite, that also gets impacted because it kind of it has to bear the market price of alumina. But going ahead, as alumina prices also come down post resolution of LU Norte, you will find that spreads in Vedanta will again improve, and that is a positive for us. The second positive what our markets seem to be overlooking is the fact that Novelis feedstock, 45% of it is primary aluminium. So with aluminium prices coming down, actually it is beneficial for Novelis in a way, and the spreads are being maintained at a reasonable level. So what I see it as the fact that Hindalco, through its cost leadership, particularly because of integrated model in domestic operations and focus on value-added products, particularly auto in Novelis, I think that earnings-wise there won't be any issue, because I don't think anybody actually took an estimate of 2,500, 2,400, that kind of LME estimate. So it was like something that lasted for some time. We all expected that possibly Rusal stuff will take some time to get resolved. It got resolved sooner than later. So that is what is the only thing. Otherwise, I think the fundamentals practically remain the same.
You consider the issue resolved, right? Not temporary relief. The Rusal issue.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
No, you're saying the Rusal issue is resolved according to you.
No, Rusal issue, see, it has to get resolved. Of course, at the end of the day, I believe that Rusal is such a big capacity, and in the overall scheme of things, there would be certainly negotiations.
Okay.
And Rusal issue, I don't think it will continue for long.
Okay. What is the aluminum price that you have in your estimates for both Hindalco and Vedanta?
Sure. So we have estimated aluminium at 2080 and 2020 respectively for FY19 and FY20 with a premium of $100. So that is the estimate we have, and our estimates are definitely not at risk.
So you still have a big gap between where prices are now and your estimates. Do you think this in this phase? In this phase of this rise in aluminum price, do you think these companies would have locked in sales at higher...
Sorry, I didn't get that last part.
I'm saying, do you think over the last month, 2 months, when prices were rising, these companies would have locked in contracts at higher prices? For the next couple of quarters, that could help?
Oh yeah, sure. But as far as the this contracting strategy is kept in close wraps, I would say. But certainly they would have contracted little bit of stuff on forwards, and that should help at least for a quarter, if not two. So definitely that would be helpful.
Thanks very much. Appreciate you joining in. Good getting that perspective, and appreciate your time here as always. 33 points in the Nifty. When we started 130 mid-cap radar, the market was up almost just 12-13 points. So it's a meaningful pickup. The mid-cap index is also sold off more. It was flat. It was down 5 or 6 points. It's down 30 points So Nifty has gone up, mid-cap index has gone down over the last 30 minutes or so.